What's really going on, everyone? Back again with another episode with a very, very special guest. Before we introduce that very special guest to you, be sure to follow us on our social media at WRGO Pod on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Be sure to like, listen, and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts, whether that be on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Apple Music, wherever. And be sure to like, listen, and especially comment on YouTube, where you can catch all of our shorts, all of our extended content that is all there all of the time. Now, today, as I mentioned, we have a very special guest who is a very special friend. Today, we are honored to have Josh Hurd, a candidate for Maryland's House of Delegates in District 12A, representing parts of Howard County. Now, he is originally from Atlanta. Josh is a attorney and a public servant who earned his degree in political science from none other than Howard University before going on to receive his law degree from Hofstra. Throughout his career, he has worked as a public defender and in county government, focusing on fairness, accountability, and community advocacy. In his campaign, Josh is focused on things like affordable housing, mental health, public education, and supporting families from across District 12A. Now, Josh, future House of Delegate, how are you, sir?
I'm doing good. Thank you. Thank you all so much for having me. And we're going to claim it now. So I appreciate that, Noah. Thank you, man. I really appreciate you guys taking the opportunity out. The pod is amazing. The work you guys are doing is needed, especially in this time period. So thank you. Thank you. And thank you for having me here.
No, of course. I think we always, I think, like to begin this, especially I think with candidates who are of our generation. Like, what made you decide that now was the right time just to run for public office? I know that's obviously a big step from, being a public servant in your previous aspect from the legal side, but was there a particular moment, issue, or experience that pushed you into saying, you know what, I'm actually going to file my paperwork and run for office?
So I like to ask, why not now? That's how I go about moving through life, man. Why not now? Why not get into everything we want to do right now? We only have this one life. Met you what, 12 plus years ago now. So we're only getting older as we go. But I mean, honestly, it started with how I grew up, to be honest with you. I'm the son of a pastor. My mom's a teacher, so public service, is something that's ingratiated into my entire life. I have five siblings. So we grew up, in a three-bedroom house. At first, we were real close. And I just grew up seeing public service happen from my parents and moving on. And so, I just grew up believing, honestly, that public service is about showing up for people who often feel overlooked, which is I feel like I gained a greater appreciation for that at the greatest college in the world, Howard University. But was able to be pushed more forward when I got into becoming a public defender after law school, getting into that, seeing how, the system just so often overlooks, people who can't afford representation. And oftentimes you saw them it becomes crimes of money. That's what it is. Because rich people, you see their sentences and their pretrial holding and pretrial detention is totally different, or lack of detention, I should say, it's totally different than poor people. So it becomes crimes of money. That's how I took it a lot of times. So I was proud to be able to stand up for those people as well. And it's just something that I wanted to do. So I said, let's take this step now, get into it. Even just reaching out, talking to people, just seeing the issues that they're facing. And because we were taught, go to school, get your education, get your degree, you'll be set, and I just feel like the world that we're living in now is becoming too expensive to just for everyone. And so I said, even me, myself, is too expensive for me. Got degrees, went to work, pay my taxes, and it's still becoming really expensive. So I was like, man, let's hop in and let's be the change that we want to see.
And you said you talked to people and understood their issues. What were some issues that they were telling you on the ground, especially in your district
So,
specifically?
so Howard County and where our district is and where I live, the main issue that we're seeing is affordability. People want to be able to buy homes in our district. I want to be able to buy a home eventually. And right now, everyone I'm talking to, that's the central focus. Like, how can it become more affordable for us to be able to live in this community? I want people to not only be able to survive in this community, but to thrive. And as it is now, especially with the high gas prices, that's definitely not helping as well. But the lack of opportunities, the lack of availability of homes, of affordable homes in our district, it just made it difficult for people to be able to thrive here. So now I'm seeing a lot of people who work here have to live other places just to survive. And I just don't think that's right. Especially we can't be the richest country in the world and our residents who are actively trying and working hard are struggling. I just don't see that as a just society at all. So, That's one of the main issues that I see, the biggest issue. As soon as you talk to people, look, I want to be able to afford a home here. I want to be able to live here. It's a great place to live, but not if people can't afford to live there. So that's the main issue I see, the affordability.
I'm very glad like that's a focus because I mean, being from Atlanta, the price has consistently
Yeah,
increased here. That
yeah,
seems to be a
yeah,
common thread
yeah,
of issues throughout America.
yeah.
What solutions do you think you can bring forth, being that this is one of your top priorities?
So one, I want to limit the scope of private equity buying up homes in the area for short-term rentals. We see that happen a lot of times. They buy them up with no intention of actually living here, but to keep using the homes as a cash cow, which is an issue. So people have heard, buy a lot of property, rent it out, which is good in theory, but I mean, people want to live here. You're taking houses out of the market. So I say we tax them at a higher rate if they want to do it and limit the amount of homes that they can actually buy in the area, as well as giving tax breaks for working class families so that they can buy these homes. I'm thinking about a first time home buyer loan where they can match it through the state funds. Because the thing is, we have the money. It's just how do we want to spend it? And so for so long, it has been the wealthy zip codes are getting the money. The wealthy zip codes are getting the tax breaks. And that just seems a little counterintuitive to me. So I'm a big proponent of raising taxes on big corporations who want to buy up homes in this area and helping tax breaks by giving to working class families. I will always support and I will always be a proponent of common sense legislation that benefits working class families because I believe that that's the backbone of America. And if we don't have a middle class, we have nothing. So,
Okay, I'm gonna have to do like a pause moment and just like, bro, it's so cool to see one, knowing your ring keeps flashing in the camera. So I'm like, bro, you did just get married too. Josh, your answers are superb, bro. I'm super proud of
appreciate
you.
that,
And to
man.
know that like
I
kind of the catch
appreciate
up we had prior to this,
it.
I'm super proud to you have tactical, actionable plans that you
I
can
appreciate it.
take. I just had to do that.
And
I
I
was looking for
appreciate
like, yeah.
it. I appreciate it.
But
And then
talk
I,
about some of
yeah.
the pushback you might have received. Like when you've talked about this or talked to people on the ground, has there been any pushback to some of this stuff?
Yeah, from the wealthy people, the rich people. We don't want our taxes raised. We don't, but hey, I'm not here to serve the wealthy people. And that's the issue with the politicians that we have now. They are here to serve the interests of these large corporations and rich people. And that's why you keep saying billionaires getting tax break, the middle class is struggling, and the rich keep growing. Like that, I mean, pushback is expected. I don't expect anyone to agree 100% with anything I say, but that doesn't dissuade me. That
Even
doesn't tell
I'm
me
gonna
that.
push on this further. Can you at least talk about even I think because I think Mackenzie's asking a really interesting question that I think we always talk about, corporate influence, but you're
Mhm.
actually the one I think who's trying to propose things that would kind of shake the table a little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah,
And of course, you are dealing with people from corporate entities, and like you
yeah,
said, those who are
100%.
in the wealthier zip codes.
100%.
When you are actually saying like, "Hey, yes, this is my plan to shake this up,"
Mhm.
to a point where you might have to be comfortable with being a little bit uncomfortable.
100%.
What are actually some of those conversations like? Once you actually have, is there a longer form dialogue that you're having, or is it just, I'm here, you're there,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
you don't like it?
and I'll always, I'm a
Yeah.
big proponent of let me hear your viewpoint, and I'm gonna say mine. And I'm never the guy who says I have all the answers, I know everything. So if you have a good, reasonable viewpoint, I will listen to it. But this is what I generally hear: Hey, you raise the taxes on rich people, they're gonna move out. You keep raising taxes on these corporations, they're gonna leave. They're not gonna want to have businesses here. They're not gonna be here. No one's gonna want to live here. Listen, no one can live here but you at this point. So I mean, and I say that to him. I straight up, I'll say, listen, that sounds all fine and good. You were able to, get rich by whatever means you were able to, but at some point you got to reach back and try to help, man. And I'm sorry, but if you're making millions of dollars a year, an extra 25, $30,000 on your taxes isn't going to really impact you that much. And the tax rates that you see for lower class people and middle class people as opposed to the rich, it just doesn't balance out, in my opinion. And I feel like there's a lot more money that can be tapped into that way. So, you get rich, you have a civic duty to pay your taxes. So it is what it is. And, if you don't agree with it, it is what it is as well. Like, I mean, I know I'm not going to get 100% of the votes. I just need enough to win. So that's
But
all I'm
honestly, it's
doing.
also all lies though, because I feel like the mayor here, Mondami, he was running on that and people was
100%,
saying that people were gonna leave and there was gonna be
100%,
this mass exodus that
100%,
literally did not happen.
100%.
Actually, I would say that I feel like, at least from my perspective, the city is going in a great direction. Like
I
he's
agree.
implementing a lot of stuff that he's promised. Even the buses are gonna be
Right.
free. I think he got pushback on that, but the mass exodus and all of that media that they were trying to push on us that people were going to leave. It's literally not happening.
And they've been pushing this trickle down economy for decades. What has it gotten us? It's gotten a weaker middle class. It's destroying the middle class, to be honest with you. The middle class is going to be non-existent if we keep going at this rate, and nothing has trickled down. The rich keep hoarding more and more wealth that they'll never be able to spend in a lifetime, and we're supposed to just be okay with that and go about our lives and struggle. Like I'm literally talking when I talk to people who are literally struggling between prescriptions and paying their rent, you know, that bothers me. It really, and you're complaining to me because you don't want to pay more taxes and you're rich. I just can't empathize with that as much as literally. I literally was talking to the mom who said that so Howard County is one of the best school districts in the nation. I think it's number one in Howard in Maryland. She was literally thinking about having to move because she said that she just cannot afford to keep her kids here, and she wants to keep them here. But when she started renting over a decade ago, how much easier it was to be able to pay her rent. But now she said she's paying over 3,000 for a 3 bedroom apartment. It's like this is not sustainable. It's not sustainable. And so yeah, so even back to the rich people, that just doesn't move me. An extra $20,000 to them, they'll still be able to exist, they'll still be able to live, and they'll still be able to thrive. It doesn't matter that money doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things to them as it would to that mother who's trying to live here. So the people I talk to, that's what I'm hearing a lot of, and so I'm pushing for that. I'm always push for legislation and common sense approaches that benefit the middle class and the lower class. So that's
I'm
what.
glad you spoke about like the mental health effects
Mhm,
of how price increases
mhm,
and all of this
mhm,
stuff actually take effect, and that's a priority of your
mhm.
like campaign. Do you see any gaps happening now in Maryland for veterans or students or underserved communities that you think you can kind of fill in those gaps or plan to fill in those gaps?
For as part of so for their mental health care.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
mental
yeah.
health.
So I've been talking to a lot of mental health professionals as well as people who are suffering from whose children who either themselves or children are suffering from different mental health issues. And I proposed personally to help fund because I want to help fully fund the Medicare option in Maryland for lower class and middle class people. But I also want to be able to give money to the mental health institution so that they can expand and get more beds because that is one of the main issues that I'm hearing. You're becoming like a churner where they bring you in, we'll diagnose you, get you a prescription, but sometimes there's more inpatient help that could be needed, but they just don't have the funds. Like we have funds for everything else we want to do, but we don't have funds to take care of our citizens. So that bothers me as well. So I have actually been speaking with, mental health professionals as well as some of the people who have themselves or family suffering from mental health issues about what they need, and the main thing they need is lower prescription costs, more inpatient treatment, and like I said, I always take common sense legislative approaches that benefit people in those areas. So yeah, that's what I'm hearing about. We need a lot more inpatient rooms and help with medical costs as well for our mental health residents in our community as well. So.
Can you talk about it? Because I think when people talk about mental health or when they talk about any of these issues, whether it's
Mhm.
housing or education, they try to focus it just as if this one topic doesn't impact the next thing and how that doesn't,
100%.
everything is circular. Like it's all, we're dealing with the
Everything.
spectrum of
Everything.
things. How can you, especially through your experience as an attorney, how can you talk about how actually trying to fix some of these issues from a mental health landscape
Mhm.
is not only a public safety issue, how that's
Mhm.
also an
100%.
education issue, how that's
100%.
also a housing issue? Can you talk about how addressing these things allows you to focus on a lot of other things that people might not necessarily see it
and
as?
and that's what we speak about a lot as well. Because so when I was working in the public defender office, you'd have your what we call frequent flyers. They would come
Yeah.
in and out,
Mhm.
and some of the main issues that we noticed were that they were suffering from mental health issues as well. And what we actually spoke about at when I was working for legal aid is that
Mhm.
helping to fund these places will not only help benefit those one group of people, but it will help
Yeah.
benefit society as a whole. And we're all interconnected, but we've gotten this individualistic mindset going so strong in America now, whereas everyone for themselves, but literally working together because also you see a lot of mental health issues occurring with schools, and you see students feeling so pressured nowadays. And that's another thing we've been doing. Sorry, I'm not trying to jump off topic and stuff, but I've been working with the interns in our area. I call them interns, but there are high school students who go to the three schools in our district, and they want to be able to have the mental health services in the school because they feel like it's just so much pressure on them to be successful. But at the same time, they're like, I see everybody else struggling. So why does it even matter like to
Yeah.
go to college? Why does it even matter to work hard? Because it seems like no matter what you do, you're going to struggle anyway. So they have this is this going on in their head and they need mental health services as well. So I mean expanding it not only to, the mental health institutions but also to the schools as well will have a dramatic impact, I believe, on the crime rate in there. Will raise public safety will be better, and I just feel like, and it will make the community better for all residents. Like we live in a community now where it's great if you're upper middle class, well to do. It's great, but we want to make it where it's great for all residents. So that's what we're fighting.
No, no, I really love that because I think, honestly, I think you're one of the first people to, I think, even mention, I think just having regular like mental health
Mhm.
services, where I think people often think of, to your point, there's such a stigma to where if you are seeking mental health, that's like
Yep.
such a negative thing. But
Yes.
it's like, no, this
Yes.
should actually be a routine
A routine thing.
service. But also to your point, I love this, even connecting, I think, the economic impact of,
Mhm.
to your point, that mother who is struggling to just pay
Mhm.
rent, that does have a mental health
Mhm.
cost
Right.
to that mother, to the
Right.
family.
Right. Right.
And
Right.
I just love that you're tying in these different aspects of
Thank you.
how, hey, you can just be mental health is not a stigma, but it's something that can just happen just for you existing or trying to keep up with a rapid cost of living. So
Exactly.
I really
Exactly.
love that you had mentioned that. I think it's a good
Exactly.
tie-in.
Exactly. So thank you. Thank you.
And I
You
think,
mentioned,
yeah,
oh, go ahead.
no, 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 go ahead, Michaela.
You mentioned a little bit about being a legal aid, but how do you think your time as being a public defender and just being a public servant has like helped you approach this new campaign season and stuff like that?
So I think not so much courtroom stuff, but I think talking to people, honestly, because you meet people from all walks of life. People love to think that legal aid is just one type of person. I've was a legal aid. I was a representative of teachers. I represented nurses aides. It's a lot of people because hiring an attorney can be very, very expensive. So I think meeting with those people, talking with those people, has helped me to be able to relate to more people. I think it has helped me to be able to listen and understand their issues that they're going on as well. But also, it taught me how to speak up for them. So that's why our whole campaign slogan is, let our voices be heard, because we're going to speak up. We're going to speak up for you because we're oftentimes talking to people who are living in a system that doesn't value them, living in a system that doesn't even care about their existence except what they can pay in tax dollars. And we're going to change that. So that's why we're moving forward to letting our voices be heard. And I think working in the public defender's office has definitely helped me out with meeting with and speaking with these people. So I
And
love
who do you think is the most vulnerable community right now that we should be focusing on,
it.
specifically in your district?
So James Tallarico in Texas said it's not about left versus right, it's about top versus bottom. And if you're not rich, if you're not making 750,000 or more a year, you're at the bottom. And if you're at the bottom, you're the most vulnerable right now. If you're at the bottom, that's who it is. It's not about a racial class, it's not about a gender class. It's about top versus bottom, just like James Tallarico said. And he was actually right, in my opinion. So I do believe that the bottom is the most vulnerable right now, especially with the price gouging going on across this country, but specifically in our district.
I'm glad you said that because apparently everyone online thinks they're rich and doesn't think that a lot of these things apply to them. And it's clear that $750,000 is a lot of money. And if you don't make that, that these things do apply to you. So.
There we go. Let's do that. Top versus bottom. That's what it is. Everyone on Twitter makes 150,000 or more. That's
Yeah.
how it is.
And then think they rich and then
And
think that they're millionaires and all this stuff. And it's like, okay.
$100,000 not even the same thing it was 15 years
No,
ago.
I was
Yeah,
just about
it's
to say.
not.
I was
It's
just about to
not.
say
Yeah,
that.
it's really not. So, imagine a person making 45.
Yeah.
Mm, mm.
Imagine a person making 50
With two
with
kids.
two kids. So it's difficult trying to survive out here. It's difficult. It's really difficult.
Hey, I'm glad you're speaking about this because we seen how Trump has like cut federal jobs crazy, and in Maryland that has been a lot
Yes.
of ways, especially for Black people, they've been able to obtain wealth and buy homes and afford a living.
Hmm.
What actions do you think you can push back in your county to like combat some of these actions and like repair that
Hmm.
gap that we've seen happen with federal jobs?
Man, the cuts that were made just the way they did it. There was no thought process behind it. There was there was nothing behind it. The cuts that were made that way, I mean, it's gonna take years to just repair. I do believe that I like what our county executive has done. for people who want to try to get a job in government, if you lost your federal job, they'll try to put you in and try to help you out as best as possible. Because I mean, we have a lot of federal workers who live in our district. I've spoken to a few actually who lost their jobs suddenly and now are having to do DoorDash. And he said he's been applying for jobs for over a year plus. He'll work anywhere. So I mean, it's difficult. It's difficult, but I do like the direction that Howard County is going specifically, where they are trying to make a they're trying to make a more overt push to hire federal workers who lost their jobs during these Doge cuts. But we can spend $1 billion a day, $2 billion a day on a war, but these people work, and that's just too far. We can't do that. So I do like what we're doing. That is a good thought. I'm gonna write that down. How can we support these people more? I like that. Like I said, I don't think I know everything, and I like that thought. I never really dove into it, but we do need to be able to support them more. So thank you, Henry. I appreciate
No,
it.
No, I
for
mean,
sure.
yeah, I mean, as someone who lives in Maryland, I mean, to your point, I mean, I think it'll take years, if not like, I mean, anybody missing 1 year of paychecks, that's a
Yeah,
generational potentially
yeah, yeah,
impact. And I think people
literally,
don't talk about, to your point,
literally.
how even people who are scratching and clawing just to live in Howard County, just so they can work in the district, how
Yes,
even that is now
yes.
all of the, businesses that are around Howard County that are feeding off people from
100%.
childcare services to local restaurants that are relying on, whatever administration building is parked outside. Um, to
Exactly.
focus a little bit, at least on, I know, the politics of Maryland, I know redistricting has been a huge
Mhm,
issue across the country, especially
mhm,
with the voting rights stuff that happened last week,
mhm,
Tennessee,
mhm.
Louisiana.
Yeah,
Um, so
yeah,
far, I've actually been very surprised that it hasn't actually happened in Maryland,
yeah.
which has been a kind of a bigger conversation, at least brewing in the state. Do you have any insight as to, if you were elected, would you have a specific position on redistricting, or would you want to hear kind of where the conversations are, or just what say you? Because I know there's a state legislatures and, people who are in your future body
Right,
are
right,
the
right,
ones actually really deciding
right.
what happens here. So I don't know
100%.
if you have any thoughts on it.
Like you said, I'm always open to a discussion about it. But hey, we weren't even talking about redistricting until Texas. So I mean, at some point you have to protect yourself, and you got to protect what you can. Look what's going on in Florida now. They just paused an election in Louisiana.
Yeah.
45,000 votes. They asked the governor what's going to happen with those votes. Oh, they won't be counted. What? Like, what do you mean? But we're supposed to just sit idly by and just, watch as they go on the wayside. I'm not for that. I'm not about it. I'm not about that at all. That's not how I am. So I'm always for protecting yourself and protecting a Democrat. So the same way Republicans are doing their thing. So why not? I mean, I think the question should be why even start it? Why did they even start it? Especially, I mean, it's supposed to look at it. What I think the next census is 2030. Like why are we even doing it now? It's clearly some ulterior motives behind it, and I'm always for protecting ourselves. So
Have people on the campaign trail asked you about your thought on this?
no,
Or,
that actually hasn't
yeah,
really come up at
really?
all.
It's
At all.
interesting.
I'm telling you, when I'm talking to residents and community members, it's about how can we buy a house? How can I get my grocery bill down? How can I not have to pay this much for insulin?
Yeah.
That those are the questions that I'm hearing a lot about. And I know this, the redistricting thing is a big topic right now, especially, but
No, I mean, I think
for
if
the common
anything,
person on the ground, I
yeah.
don't think that that's really,
Yeah.
No, I mean, I
heavily.
think it's actually the more interesting thing of, I think there's a difference between how, if you're consuming political news on TV or online versus, like, at
Right,
the end of the day, when I have my elected official in front of me, my
right.
30-second elevator pitches, to your point,
Yes,
insulin,
yes,
eggs,
yes,
milk, gas. And I do think,
exactly.
to your point, being actually tapped into that, because I do think that there's, and I think Mackenzie and I have even talked about this, how I think even though there is like a very much so a groundswell of, I think, younger people like yourself who are running, and then I think they kind of get dragged into kind of like what's trending online versus, like, at the end of the
Right,
day,
right. At
I
the
need
end
to
of
balance my
the
books and they ain't being
yes,
balanced. And I
exactly,
do think it actually is
exactly.
refreshing, I think, to actually just like, I'm going to react to what people are telling
Mhm.
me that
Man,
I
that's what
need to focus
that's the
on.
only thing I'm here for, to be honest with you, man. That's why I'm here to give a voice to those who aren't heard. To speak up for those who are just forgotten about or not cared about in the system. And like I said, it's the bottom. It's those at the bottom. So that's why I'm here. And literally, the main thing you hear from those community members are about the affordability crisis going on here, but across this country as well. So across this country as well. So yeah, that's what I'm hearing a lot from constituents.
No, that's good. Well, I think if before we get into Henry's rapid fire, where we'll have a little bit more of some fun questions and
Okay.
stuff like that. If elected, when elected, what would success look like after your first term? And then kind of a slight also add, what message do you have, I think, to people who are a little bit younger than us or in our kind of generation who are feeling a little bit dejected by government and those who are maybe like you, I'm thinking about running for something, but maybe you could give someone the final little push
Yeah.
to do it.
I want success though to look like in our community where it's a tangible difference in the way that the residents live here, that they can feel it, that they can feel like they know that one who I am, but because speaking to people, they don't even know who their elected delegates are a lot of times. But two, that they can feel a discernible difference in their life. That's what I want success to look like. But I want them to also, I want it to also be, well, I want success to also look like where they feel as if that I'm always approachable. I'm always there, that they can speak to me, that they can reach out to my office, speak with me about the issues that they're facing, and speak with somebody in my office about the issues that they're facing and feel heard as well. And I want them to make the final determination on whether or not, they feel as if it was a successful term. I want them to be known. I want them to state their feelings as well, because at the end of the day, we're elected for the community members. So, and for those young people who want to get involved, I mean, there is going to be no perfect time. There is going to be no perfect circumstance. There is going to be no perfect. I can see the way in my hand. At some point, you got to go out on faith and take it, man. You're gonna have to go do whatever it is you want to do in this life. And if you're thinking about hopping in, I think it's time. I feel as if our politicians now are aging out. I feel as if the boomer generation isn't even work. The issues that they were facing are just totally different than the issues that we're facing. And I don't think that, it's inherently that they're doing this on purpose. I just feel as if they're out of touch. So I think this is the perfect time to hop in. If you feel like you need a push to hop in, just hop in. Hop in and do it. Go talk to some people. Go talk to people in your community. Go figure out what their issues they're facing. And you do that, listen to a few people, you'll understand and you can get going, but there's no perfect time. You need to just do it now. So hop on faith and keep going.
I
And
love
then
that.
come join us on this
And
podcast.
then come join on the podcast. That's right.
All right, Henry, the floor is yours for your traditional rapid fire.
Well, yeah, we like to have a little fun, bro. So can you tell us your wildest memory at Howard? No, I'm just playing.
Yikes.
Graduating.
No, that was one of like your most memorable moments at Howard.
Graduate.
Graduating.
Yeah,
Yeah,
graduating.
I
I didn't know if I was gonna make it.
oh, trust and believe. I got a story for you, my boy.
Everybody was at one point, maybe not Mackenzie, because she graduated with a 4.0, but and Noah too. But everybody else was like a little concerned at him. All right, I'm in there. We good to go.
You funny, man. So we know you from the Dirty South. Who's your like favorite all-time Atlanta rapper?
Gucci, 100%.
Okay.
Wait, you still standing by Gucci after this nonsense?
He is a citizen. You do that to me,
He
I'm
said, I
calling the
am a
police
public
too.
defender.
Listen, I'm calling the police too. I mean, hey,
That's funny.
man, don't come here with no gun because
Wow.
I'm at the studio and think I'm not calling the police. I'm a citizen. I pay
Look, I
taxes.
ain't mad. I ain't mad.
I'm not mad, actually. I'm really,
Hey, what are we doing here?
that's hilarious.
So,
Are you one of those people that's a diehard Falcons fan, or who's your like football team?
yeah, Falcons. Atlanta Falcons, Atlanta Hawks, Atlanta Braves,
Oh
Atlanta
man,
Thrashers.
boy.
Yeah, I love everything.
Let's go do prize picks then.
No, we don't got Prospects doesn't exist in Maryland. So can't do it up here.
Dang, man. That's real. Are you looking forward to any like cool summer travel plans?
Man, I'm gonna be here. This summer I'm gonna be in 12A talking to people, knocking on doors. I don't even like traveling like that, to be honest. So this is the perfect job for me where I got an excuse to be in the district 24/7, I'm gonna be here 24/7 talking to people. So, you know,
No, I hear that. I hear that. I hear that. And then just to kind of like wrap it all together, we've heard that you were engaged. You want to tell us
oh
anything
yeah,
special about your like fiance and
yeah.
things to
So
look forward to?
we just came. So I did leave District 12A this past weekend. She got her EDD, so she's doctor now. So we went. She graduated Saturday. So that's where we were in Richmond, Virginia, at VCU. Yes, it's not Howard, but no, just playing. VCU is a great school, great
Yeah,
campus
it is
too.
a good
It's
school.
beautiful too. That's a
Yeah.
beautiful campus, by the way.
All
But yeah,
right.
so that's where we were this weekend, man. I'm excited about getting married to her. I'm excited. I love her. She's actually a teacher in the district. She's a high school teacher in the district. She won Teacher of the Year in 2023, actually. So,
Okay.
we're in 12A. We love 12A. So that's what we are. I'm excited. I'm excited. Life is good. I can't complain at all.
I was about to say, you out here dissing VCU. Don't have this podcast be the reason that
That's
you're
why
sleeping on the couch, brother. I
you're
would
right.
hate for
You're
that to be
right.
your, I would hate for that to be your reality after
No,
we
you are
drop
right.
this.
VCU was a great campus, though. No, I really
It is.
it was a lot. It was
Yeah.
beautiful. It was very beautiful.
Well, I think, Josh, so for all of our folks who want to follow you, get tapped in for you, you got 30 seconds to make your final pitch. Where can people follow you, donate, check you out on the campaign, volunteer, all that? The floor is yours, my friend.
Look, this campaign, that's what we're about here, man. We're a grassroots campaign from the bottom. Our average donation is probably like $20. And that's perfect. People think that, that they want to get involved, they want to help out. $20 goes a long way, man. That's 5 yard signs. So thank you. We are doing great. So look, if you want to get involved with our campaign, go to my website, www.joshuahurdfordelegate.com. You can follow me on Instagram, Joshua Hurd for Delegate, and Twitter, J Hurd for Delegate. Go get us involved. Please hop on if you want to donate. It's in my bio. It's in my bio on Instagram, and or well as well as go to my website. Look, we're about common sense approaches to making the middle class strong, viable, and bringing it back again. That's what this whole campaign is about. That's what my public service career has been about, and that's what it's going to continue to be about. I'm just excited. I'm happy about this journey. I'm excited to keep going, and I'm ready to keep fighting for District 12A. So please follow us, get in, and I want to say thank you one more time for having us on here, having me on here today, to be able to push out our campaign. It's been great. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the work that you all are doing. It really is beneficial, and I definitely think it's needed right now. A lot of people aren't politically fluent, I guess is the term, and the way you guys break it down, I think is beautiful. So I appreciate the work that you all are doing as well. So thank you for
Well,
having me.
we appreciate you, my friend, and we look forward to having you back on as
Of
the
course,
next delegate representing
of course,
Maryland's
of
12th
course.
A district. So
Now,
be sure to follow everything that Josh is doing. Be sure to tap in with his campaign, and be sure to follow us at everywhere at WRGO Pod to get all of the latest news and updates and to keep up with exactly what Josh is doing. Thank you.
thank you.